Hello, this is Cheryl. My reason for doing this is I have been researching some things. As usual, I'm always researching something. Um, I want to share this article with you. This is coming off the Jesus Maria site. It's the INRI, the true meaning in Hebrew. The word translated Lord is the famous tetragrammaton that Jews cannot even pronounce. Okay? So let me read this. This is the actual plaque, a picture of it, a rendition photo of the three different languages that were placed above the head of Jesus on the cross. I'm going to start reading it. In Exodus 20, verse 2, God reveals his name to Moses. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. The word translated as Lord is the famous tetragram that Jews cannot even pronounce. It is Yahweh. Notice here Yahweh. Why? It says the Yod, okay, the He, the Wah, and the He. There is never, whenever you see Hebrew, there's no A, E, I, O's, or U's. You see, there's never a vowel in Hebrew language, okay? So Yahweh vocalized in different ways, such as Yahweh. The four Hebrew letters that make it up are those, the Yod. See, remember, Hebrew always is also reading in the opposite direction than the English. So it's Yod, He, Wah, and He. Remember that Hebrew is read from right to left. In the Gospel of John, chapter 19, verses 16 through 22, we read, and they took Jesus, and carrying his own cross, he went out to the place of the skull, in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him with two others, one on one side, one on the other, and Jesus in the midst. Pilate, who wrote a title and put it on the cross, and it reads, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. They asked him to take it down. Remember, they asked him to take it down. See, many of the Jews read the inscription because the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city. It was written in Hebrew, Latin, and in Greek. The chief priests of the Jews said to Pilate, "Do not write King of the Jews." See, they were wanting to condemn the king portion, cursed him in the kingship. That's why the gambling away of his robes. That's why the crown. They were cursing the kingship of a Jewish man, and so that's why they did not want him to write King of the Jews. Okay, but this man said, "I am King of the Jews." Pilate answered, "What I have written, I have written." If you've read the book of Nicodemus, you're going to find out that it's required reading for every Caesar in running place after Pilate, because of the way he tried to compromise between the Jews and um, and the Roman Empire to crucify Jesus. It was a great work. It was a great piece, and he was teaching people how to actually try to meet a good compromise and not take life. And he honestly had a great rapport with Jesus, and it became a great writing afterwards. Okay, despite the passage in question, is very famous. The scene that took place in front of the crucified Jesus must have been a bit different from how we have always imagined. John perhaps tried to emphasize this, but the reader who does not know the Hebrew language is unable to comprehend the meaning. The inscription mentioned by John is the famous letter INRI, depicted still above the crucified Jesus. The acronym, which stands for the Latin Jesus, or Jesus, Nazarenus, Rex, I don't know how to say this one, but I'm going to work my way through it. Rum, okay, which means Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. But John specifies that the inscription also was also in Hebrew. Not only that, in an important moment, the evangelist seems to dwell on the details seemingly insignificant. The fact that many of the Jews read this inscription because the place of where Jesus was crucified was near the city. You cannot put anything cursed near holy land. Okay, that is typical. You have to take your shoes off when you walk on holy land. You cannot have the blood of sinners in holy land. anything like that. So they were cursing Jesus. That's why he was on the cross. They wanted to curse the king, the priest, and the leadership in him. There's another word for it. Okay. The chief priests who came to Pilate asked to change the inscription, and Pilate refused to change it. Pontius Pilate, who was an officer of the Roman Empire, probably did not understand that unwittingly had created a bit of an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment. They could not put this man to death um, the, without without using their own. They had to use the empire to do it. Okay, he was an officer. Okay, Pontius Pilate, who was an officer of the Roman Empire, probably did not understand. Okay, that he had created a bit of an embarrassment. If he wanted to call it that way, the Jews who observed Jesus' crucifixion with the inscription above the head. Okay, Henry Tosset, Hebrew. I just put that whole sentence in past tense. I can't believe I did that. Okay, Henry Tosat, Hebrew expert, turned to several rabbis to ask what was the exact enrollment of the Hebrew translation, how it made complete by Pilate. He talks about it as the book of Eva, the woman, from page 216 to 220. He discovered that it is mandatory grammatically in Hebrew to write Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. With Hebrew letters, we get, and remember, it's in this direction, okay? And here's the word. Those letters are equivalent to Yshu, Hnostri, Wmlk, Hyhudim. Vocalized Yeshua, Hnostri, Wmlk, Hyhudim. So in getting the Latin INRI acronym for the Hebrew, you get Yahweh. Okay? YHWH. That is why the INRI acronym is equal to Yeshua, because in the Hebrew, it is Yeshua, Hnostri, Wmlk, Hyhudim. You see that? On my little cursor. There you go. This explains the attention that John receives or reserves to the situation that in taking place under the crucified Jesus. Even just this, the INRI, recognizes Yeshua in the full Hebrew text. Okay? Okay, so it is full tetragrammaton, unpronounceable, engraved above the head. They cannot speak this whole thing because it is Hebrew. I can't speak it because it's Hebrew. So the INRI is Latin, meaning Yeshua or Yahweh. Okay? And okay, it could not be good that Yahweh was written there, visible to all, and try to persuade Pilate to change the incision. That's the phrase of the Roman procurator. What I have written, acquires very deep meaning. So that's why sometimes you know that there's 3 languages above his head, and sometimes you know there is just the INRI. It is the unspeakable. It is the I am that I am. Okay, so Jesus, when he lifted up the Son of Man, then you say that you know I am. To raise Jesus means the crucifixion. I am alludes to the name of God revealed to Moses in Exodus 3:14. God to Moses, I am that I am. He added, thus you shall say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. This is an article from Daniele Luciano. I want to thank her. I think this is a fabulous piece, and I'm looking forward to tweeting this out right now. So I'm going to hit my little Twitter button here, and it is going out. This is going under Lady of the Kingdom, and there you go. So now you know exactly. There you go. This is my site. Okay? Well, God bless you, and have a good day. Have a good day in the Lord. Bye-bye.